We have searched for them for decades. We've sent out signals, listened to the cosmic static, and peered through telescopes, all in the desperate hope of finding an answer to the most profound question. Are we alone? It is a question that defines our place in the universe. But what if the search ended? What if tomorrow we received a clear, unmistakable signal? Or what if a single massive ship simply appeared in orbit above our planet, silent and still? The moment of first contact would not be a scene from a movie. It would be the single most important, most terrifying, and most unifying event in all of human history. Everything that has ever defined us, our nations, our religions, our economies, would be tested and irrevocably changed. This isn't just about meeting another species. This is about what happens when humanity is forced to look in the mirror and confront its own identity. It is a timeline that could end our species or begin a new, unimaginable chapter. The two paths, a savior or a conqueror. When we imagine first contact, our minds jump to two extreme scenarios, one of profound hope and one of absolute fear. Both would shatter our world in different ways. Scenario 1, the peaceful arrival. Imagine they are benevolent. Their message is one of peace and guidance. They are a species that has long since outgrown the petty conflicts of war and greed. Their technology is so advanced it seems like magic to us. They could offer to cure every disease, to solve global warming in a single day, or to provide an energy source that makes poverty and hunger a thing of the past. This would be a utopia. But it would also be a subtle kind of apocalypse. Our scientific advancement would grind to a halt. Why spend centuries developing a cure for cancer when they can simply give it to us? Our religions would face an existential crisis. If God created us in His image, what does that say about this other form of life? Our very sense of purpose, our drive to strive and overcome would be lost. We would become like children, given everything we want and need, but without the maturity to understand the cost. Our societies would collapse not from war, but from the sudden irrelevance of our own achievements. Scenario 2, the hostile arrival. Now imagine the opposite. The message is one of dominance. Or worse, there is no message at all, just a swift, devastating attack. They are here for our resources, for our planet, or perhaps they simply see us as a biological threat to be removed. Our military forces with their fighter jets and tanks would be laughably useless against a species that can cross the stars. The initial global panic would be total. The world's financial markets would collapse in minutes as money becomes meaningless. Every nation would call on its military, but the futility of the effort would quickly become clear. We would be a single species facing an existential threat. For the first time in our history, we would have no choice but to unite. The old rivalries and grudges would have to be set aside as we faced the prospect of extinction. This scenario would forge a new, unified humanity, but only through the searing crucible of a devastating interstellar war. The global reaction, a world divided or united. Regardless of the aliens' intent, the global reaction would be a massive, unpredictable event. Political and military change. Would the world's nations finally unite under a single banner, perhaps creating a new united Earth force? Or would the old rivalries re-emerge, as nations fight each other to control the alien technology or to be the primary point of contact? Imagine the chaos of different nations trying to communicate with an unknown species in their own language. The desire to gain an advantage over our human rivals might be stronger than the need to cooperate with an alien one. Religion and philosophy. This is where the most profound shift would occur. The foundational stories of our major religions and the philosophical concepts that have guided our existence would face their greatest challenge. Would humanity be a special creation or just one of many? The debate would rage between those who see this as a sign from a higher power and those who see it as proof that we are just a tiny, insignificant part of a much larger and much more secular universe. The human psyche. Beyond politics and religion, the very core of our identity would be shaken. We have always seen ourselves as the most intelligent species on our planet, a singular exception. What would happen to our ego, our sense of purpose, and our pride when we are faced with a species that is millions of years more advanced than we are? We would be forced to confront our own insignificance, which could lead to a global depression, a state of profound awe, or a desperate, aggressive need to prove ourselves. The deeper questions, the why of contact, the what if of first contact, is filled with endless questions. Why are they here? Are they biological beings like us, or are they a form of artificial intelligence? Do they even have a morality we can comprehend? If they are peaceful, is there a catch? Do they see us as a problem to be solved or a species to be helped? And if they are hostile, is it because we pose a threat to them, or because they are a threat to themselves? The very reason for their journey would be a massive mystery, and humanity's greatest challenge would be to try and understand the mind of an alien. If aliens offered to solve all our problems, from climate change to war, but only in exchange for a resource we don't know the value of, would you accept the deal? And if a single ship appeared over your city, would your first instinct be fear or hope? Why? Do you think humanity is ready for peaceful first contact, or would our natural divisions and desire for power tear us apart? Conclusion. This timeline forces us to confront the fact that our place in the universe may not be what we thought it was. A single moment of contact could change everything, forcing us to set aside our differences or magnifying them to a catastrophic degree. It's a moment that could define us as a species, for better or for worse. This timeline may seem like a fantasy, but it shows us just how balanced our world truly is. If you want to keep exploring the what-ifs and see how our world could be different, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Timeline Shift, and get ready for our next adventure.